When did you get started on your artist journey?
Well, I started writing songs a little bit before COVID, and then COVID hit and I had all the time in the world to just be at home kind of working on stuff. So I just dove into it during the whole pandemic. And that led to recording my first album kind of during the pandemic and went to college for about a month. And that was right after I finished tracking my first records. I was kind of on a big high of wanting to pursue that full time and made the decision to drop out and do that. So, I mean, really 2019 is when I started really writing songs. And then 2021 is when I started pursuing it as a career.
Was there a moment when it clicked and you were like, I meant to do this. I must follow this path?
I'd say in the studio, it was a pretty life-changing experience being there for the first time. The first studio I ever went into was Arlen Studios in Austin, and it was watching Charlie Sexton, who produces all of my stuff, work with my grandfather. So it's kind of a big full circle moment doing my first record there with him. Yeah, I mean, it just everything kind of happened one thing after another, just leading me to pursue it. So it was I'd say I decided really in the studio and then going to college for a short stint, just everything clicked in my head that I wasn't meant to be a
How did
student anymore, so I dropped out.
It's a heck of a leap to walk the creative path.
Yeah.
And how,
Yeah, in a weird way. I mean, for me, it never felt like the biggest leap just because of my upbringing. I was so exposed to any sort of artistic expression and creative careers, and so like the whole for me, it was more kind of just like finding what I was supposed to be doing. It made total sense to me. It never felt like this big uh, life change. It kind of just felt like I settled into myself. And then, yeah, I mean, everything that's happened in the past 4 or 5 years has kind of led me to this point of where we're at now with Fault Lines being out. And um, that whole record's kind of just about everything that happened in the past 4 years since I left school. That's why the title track's Fault Lines, because it's about the conversation I had with my mom about dropping out of school.
what is music to you? How has it carried you through your life?
It's definitely changed for me now in certain ways. Now that I'm pursuing it as a career. Before, being younger, it was just, it was joy and fun and, getting through different things. It's always been a coping mechanism to some degree, which is kind of why I started writing songs, is because I just, get things off of my chest and kind of pull myself through some situations. And then, yeah, I mean, it's still that today. I mean, it's really just self-expression and kind of like it's such a weird question to answer as far as like, what is music to me? Because it's kind of just as important to me as eating food. It's very helpful to just my being. So it's kind of everything, if that makes any
Makes
sense.
total sense. Yeah. How do you personally tap into that deeper emotional space when you're writing to bring out your most authentic art?
Yeah, I mean, I think just having no expectations of the end result. I mean, I have the idea of what I'm trying to say with certain songs, and sometimes I don't know what I'm trying to say. And it takes, there's some songs that I write in 5 minutes, and there's some songs that I started writing 2 years ago that I only have like a verse and a chorus, and you know, it, I'm it's just not there yet. So I think for me, not having expectations of what's happening or the end result, and not really, you have to be just very careful about letting other people into the creative process, because for me it's really important to prioritize what I'm trying to say and what it means to me. That's kind of how I prioritize everything. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's kind of my process.
Cautious about who's around you, who's a part of the creating.
Yeah, I mean, it can just who has an opinion on things. I mean, it can get pretty warped pretty quick, as far as, you have people that are coming in that really just want the song to be a hit, or if they want the song to, people have different intentions with how they uh, do their own careers, and as they should. But the way I do mine is pretty personal and uh, kind of prioritizing the story